テレ東ビズ。
福岡県宗像市で開かれた日本の次世代リーダー養成塾。経営者や国際組織の元トップなどを招き、未来のリーダーを育てるための高校生を対象にしたプログラムです。開催中の2週間、参加する生徒はスマートフォンも使えない特別研修ですが、全国17の都道府県や海外から高校生150人が集まりました。講演のために来日したタノン・ビダヤ元財務相がテレビ東京の単独インタビューに応じました。
They have a lot of questions for you and for the product. So, what's your impression of that?
Well, I'm very impressed with the new communities like this that can be gathered among the Japanese students. I think it's really innovative in a way, because usually when we were students, we stay in the class, but we are less reactive to the teachings. It's more of learning by traditional method.
Yeah, as an ex-leader, ex-former leader, so yeah, what do you expect the future leaders? Yeah.
I see. Well, I think that the future leaders will have very heavy burden and responsibility, because the world is changing much faster than the time I was finance minister. At this time, the world is changing very, very fast with digital technologies, with the global warming issues, with all the world interrelated problems, geopolitical conflicts, and they're changing very fast. Everyone is racing to become the winner. So no one will become absolute winner anymore. After World War II, the United States was the real winner. So he could dominate the world. The United States could dominate the world and divide the world into capitalist Western states, and also you have the socialist countries. And that's how we were separated. But at this time, it's all mixed. The socialists used open market economies, just like capitalist society. And the capitalists are thinking more about the social system that should be better organized, like how to bridge the wealth gap, the income distribution gap between the rich and the poor, become the future thinking that is much more difficult to do. And so many things that need to be done. For economics, you need a new way of thinking, that you have to be able to understand the trade and partnership, international trade, international monetary system, which will be changing so fast. So the new leader will have to adapt to that. It's not easy. If you look at the present leaders of every country, very few learn how to use Facebook. The present leaders, very few learn how to use Facebook. They never use Instagram. They never even write internet email by themselves. They use secretaries. They have hard time using computers. But it's not true for the young generation, where they can learn all of this. So they can learn much faster. So it's a big gap between the leaders and the new generations. How do you bridge that? And if you can bridge this communication errors, then you can be very strong economy. And also, the young people now are friends through everyone in the world. They can trade, they can sell anywhere in the world. So it's a new world that we cannot do. How to understand this kind of changing in economics, in geopolitical conflicts. That also, before that, we see US and Japan to control Asian nations. But now, Japan is becoming less important. China is become more important. So it's become US-China confrontation. And then China needs Asian members to work with them. And Japan, Taiwan, Korea needs to work with the US. So again, they have two separate groups. But you have seen some neutral groups, like ASEAN countries. We try to stay neutral, but you cannot. In the end, you have to choose who want to go with China, who want to go with US and Japan. It become a problem in the future. Only the young generation leaders can bridge this kind of thing. Stop the war, stop the conflicts, learn to live with what you call international solutions, new solutions.
So in this harsh circumstance, so
Yes.
how do you see the Japanese presence, so Japan's presence, so in international world?
Japan is not less than before,
Oh, sure.
but the other countries is growing faster. Okay, Japan stay very strong nation economically and have a very good boundaries as island. So they can control the domestic affair very well. But Japan used to be number 2 in the world for production, GDP. But now China is with 1,300 billion or million people, 1.3 billion people. They are producing more than Japan. India will be producing more than Japan in about 10 years because they have 1.4 billion people. But it doesn't mean Japan is less important. Japan has a lot to offer as an advanced industrialized economy. Because India, China, ASEAN economies are still developing economies. In fact, even though China is bigger in terms of production, but they are still developing economies. So the role of Japan will be different from before. Before that, Japan can dominate part of Asian economies. But now, Japan will have to rethink. Japan will have to start to become a partner of ASEAN economies, not a sponsor. Okay? Japan used to be sponsoring ASEAN economies, helping a lot. But now you have to do in a form of partnership where Japan and ASEAN can work together. Because Japan is now the highest investor in ASEAN economies. But China is coming into ASEAN countries too. Korea is coming into ASEAN countries. But believe me, ASEAN people still like to work with Japanese.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. We are afraid to work with the Chinese, but we cannot avoid.
Now you described, so you're afraid of China. So what's your...
We are not so afraid, we are cautious.
cautious.
Right.
So what is your anxiety? So
Pardon?
yeah. So what do you? What is the hardest thing? So